electric folding bike. From the center for some well-deserved R&R.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum. Broadcasting live from the United Kingdom. It's me again, your presenter, Paos, on our usual weekly political show called The State of Affairs, looking at political activities and issues of national development, culture, and social issues surrounding the Gambia. VOD is a Pan African uh, website, well, Pan African media, and we broadcast social issues regarding the Gambia. And today, with me, I'm going to have a special guest who everybody, um, well, who is a familiar face to the social media recently and to media houses, and who is a aspirant presidential candidate, a lady who wants to fight for the number one office in the Gambia, and then be part of the political race. I'm gonna welcome Miss Marisok from the Gambia. Are you ready? If you just give me yes, are you ready? Yeah, I'm gonna bring Miss Marisok. Hello.
Can you see me?
Yes, I can see clearly now.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, finally.
Yes, finally.
Yes, I was gonna look for an
I'm all
alternate.
right. Hey, yes.
We get
Hold on,
there.
let's see.
Yes. Yep. Yes. Welcome, Miss Maris. In fact, how do I address you, Miss Marisok? Is that okay?
I cannot hear you. Actually, it's my top.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Am I on?
Yes, you are live on Facebook and YouTube.
Oh, all right. Sorry.
Yeah. Welcome, Miss Marie. This is VOD. I'm very
I can barely hear you.
okay. Let me see. Can you hear
Okay,
me
that's
now?
better.
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Now, yeah. Welcome to VOD on State of Affairs show. I'm the host today, Pa Usman, and we are very honored and pleased to have you at a very short notice. And we welcome you on board. And I leave you to welcome or Neo at Gaida Deglu. We are broadcasting live on YouTube and also on social media. So we'll probably be followed by over 50,000 people tonight. So I hope tonight will be the best of the shows ever. Welcome.
I hope so too.
Yes. So I give you a minute to introduce yourself once again to the people who are listening. I know some people who were looking forward for this show today. And
Yeah.
the floor is yours.
Yes. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, my name is Marie. I was born and raised in the Gambia, Banjul, number 2 Makati Square. I was born, raised, and educated here, and then worked here prior to leaving the Gambia.
Yeah. And Marie, I know so we now gonna focus on why we want to know who Marie is again, because I know this has been a repeated question. But uh, 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 yeah, I get you back again. Marie, are you there?
Okay. Yes, I'm here. Sorry.
Yes, network. I know. So today, Marie, like I said, we're gonna be focusing on your personal profile, who you are, and then why wanting for I know at this point of time you're an aspirant candidate, not yet
Mm-hmm.
there, but we will discuss issues surrounding your eagerness to be part of the political struggle in the Gambia for the race at number one for the number one office. And then also we're gonna focus on some policies and some programs that you have in mind. And we're gonna look at what is the force behind you. And then we are also gonna look at some issues that are currently happening in the Gambia and see if you have any solutions to those problems. Remember,
Mm-hmm.
we have multiple political parties in the Gambia, multiple political parties in the Gambia, and each of these political parties are saying something similar. And then you now all of a sudden came into the game and said you want to stand for as an independent candidate. Now, Marie, I'm going to start by asking you, why do you decide to be in the political field?
Well, I didn't decide to be in the political field. I have youths that are promoting me, and they felt that I'll be the best candidate to represent their needs and to represent them, on a higher level, because they've seen that several how do you call it, parties are here, or government, and they never did anything for them other than have them campaign for them, and then when they do take over, they forget about them. So these youths are the ones that pushed me or motivated me to stand so I can represent them, represent the masses. If you say 60% of Gambia is, the youth, then they need representation, and also for the women.
Well, we come back to that. Yes, and I appreciate. But Marie, do you realize a percentage of these people who you said chose you or did said you are the right person for this job? Is that enough ingredient to pursue or to change or have a shift of career from an entrepreneur to a politician?
Well, I'm not only an entrepreneur. I'm also a philanthropist. And being a philanthropist, I've done a lot of work in the provinces, in the Gambia, with the lives of these women, and I've seen a lot. And when I look at the time, when you talk about changing the system and helping the youth, you start going back over 50 years ago when Gambia got its independence, and see what has really happened. And when you look at education and all that from the Jawara regime to now, it's like everything is going backwards. And I hear the plight of the people. I hear the plight of the women. I hear the plight of the youths, and I work with them, and I've seen all that. So this has when you're in business, in a way, when you're in business, well, not like we have here business women and businessmen. That's not the type of business I'm talking about. When you're in business, in Gambia, we're in business right now with other countries, and we're not negotiating our rights properly. We're actually mortgaging ourselves. We're actually mortgaging the country. So you cannot look at entrepreneurs and think that they cannot run a country. Entrepreneurs can, in the sense that they know the value of whatever it is. I know the value of Gambia. I know what Gambia has. You understand? So when you talk about, oh, because I'm an entrepreneur and I cannot run a country, that's wrong. And not only that, I'm an entrepreneur, I also have other qualities with me, which is working with people. I've been working with people most of my life, all my life, how do you call it, empowering them and helping them. So there's a lot of things that I do, and I multitask. And these are the things I think are what builds my personality today. And I think I'll make a better candidate than what we have seen so far, because I know how to change from the negative to the positive. I know how Gambia should look like or will look like if we do certain things, which I emphasize on my manifesto for Gambia to move forward.
Thank you. I have a challenging question on that you said, but before
Mhm.
that, you haven't spent that much time in the Gambia. Is that gonna be something that will have a negative impact on your campaign, given the fact that we're talking about 800,000 voters throughout,
Mhm.
and we're talking about
Mhm.
the length and breadth of the Gambia. And I'm not talking about the qualifying residency criteria for the presidency, but how much time we're talking about here, given the fact that you just returned to the country recently, and there is a rumors which I can't verify that how much they can be, how much fini, can fini, stuff like that. And can we elaborate on your life prior to you living in the Gambia, and when did you come to the Gambia?
I lived in the Gambia, like I said, since I was young. Like I left in 1993. I used to travel a lot prior to that, and then came back. I left finally in 1993, although I kept going back and forth um, from there to 1995. And in 1995 was the last time I came to the Gambia. And then I came back in 2011. I think 2011. I came back, or 2010. I came back to just to visit for about 10 days, and then came back to work on the project that we were working on. Excuse me, Pa, I'm having distractions here and I can't concentrate. Let us fix this here so I can continue. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
Sorry. Okay, we're good. Sorry.
Yeah,
I just had some distractions here for a bit.
Okay.
So now I've been back. I came back again. I came back again in 2013. And since I came back, I've been on ground. I travel, of course, to take a break so that I can be with my family. But I come back because I work here and I also do a lot of things here that I think is necessary for when you talk about background or what I've been doing since that time. I mean, when you take 2013 to now, you count how many years that is that I've been on ground.
Yeah. Well, that alone. Well, yeah, according to that might be. I will accept that might be suffice. But again, coming back home, you would have experienced a different environment. Given the fact that most of us diasporians, if we go back home, we find it very hard to fit in the Gambian society. You won't just come in and stay in because of work ethics, the way of lifestyle, the way of dress, and what we get used to. So, how did you quickly settled into the Gambian society, which qualifies you, like from you said, knowing the problems of the Gambia, because you said it's from 2013 until now. How did you settle quickly to absorb that?
Well, I settled. Yeah, well, I settled. Don't forget that I have history here, and I have family here, and I have people here. The people I left here are the same people I communicate with, are the same people I meet. And then I started doing my charity work. And when you do charity work, you tend to meet a lot of people. You tend to talk to a lot of people because you're going out there and trying to help. If you say you came back to give back, then you have to go into the heart of the community or heart of the areas that need help. And like I said, since 2013, I was here when the former president left. I was here when all that happened with the former regime. So I was on ground and trying to see how I can fit in to help. And I did. I helped some of these political parties to get them out because that was all the objective. And, from there on, I still continue dwelling in the communities, talking to people, living with people, so when you talk about, oh, what has she done in the community, or why, you're just coming in, do you know the Gambia? Yes, I know the Gambia more than most people know the Gambia right now, even people that live up here around this area, and people coming from the diaspora, they come spend 2 weeks and go back. I didn't do that. I spent probably 8 months or 7 months in the Gambia, and then I would travel for a month or two and then come back. And I'm dealing with, people not in the, how do you call it, in the Fajara or Bakau. I'm dealing with people in the provinces. I'm dealing with people in the heart, for example, in Talinding area and all that. These are the people, and this is the heart of Gambia. These are the people that really have an impact in Gambia, in the Gambian society as far as elections and everything. And this was not because I want to run for office. This was because I wanted to talk to them, go to the depth of the problem, to listen to them and see their problems. And I was helping them with all these issues prior to today.
Did you have the intention of, do you ever had the intention for becoming a politician, or it was just a charity work that you love and you were doing and expecting nothing until today came?
Well, I was doing a lot of charity work, nothing to do with politics, nothing to do with wanting to be in politics. But around Jammeh's time, when I saw the need of, system, I figured I need to, how do you call it, give back. And the way I was giving back was supporting an idea or a mandate of another political party. And I felt what they had was great. And I worked with them and I supported them and I helped them to where I felt that, okay, now, probably we're not going the same direction. So I stepped out. But regardless of that, I still went ahead and still involved myself in other political parties and did the same thing. Now, the youths that were in those parties or the youths that I came across, they decided, listen, we see what you're doing, we see your heart, we see what you want to do. We want somebody to represent us in the highest level. We want you to stand for us because we see what you're doing for us on this capacity. And it took a lot of thought, it took a lot of back and forth. We talked about it. And then, I said, okay, I don't mind to do that. If I want to help the whole nation, I can only do that on a bigger capacity and change the system, change the schools, change everything. Like I said, I give back and I go to the depth of the problem. I go to schools, I go to hospitals, I go to the villages, I go to the farms. I've been everywhere and I've seen.
Okay. I will come to that again. People asking you, or people realizing that you are the solution to our problems. Well, we shall see to that. Now, I'm gonna shift into what we all crying for today, and hence why we change from Jammeh regime to what we have now, which is a system change. Marie, what do you know about system change?
Well,
That our current Gambia has changed, and that's what we wanted for. What is your own understanding of system change as far as Gambia is concerned and its problem?
Well, for me, what I understand about system change is it means something like, let's say we need to change corruption, for example. We cannot change corruption 100%, but at least if we can put 80% or 85% or 90% at least into this country, it will be great. We're talking about transparency and accountability. When we take care of all these issues in our country, I think Gambia will move forward and be part of those countries that they're mentioning in the world. We have a lot to do. We have to prepare ourselves. We are preparing ourselves to lead and lead on behalf of the people. We're going to create jobs. We have a great road plan. Like I told you, I have my manifesto, and it's a great road plan of what we want to do, and it will affect and boost every aspect of our society. And that is the only way Gambia can move on and work.
And well, yes, but you think that the system change that we have been calling for and other political parties that we deem fit, that they are the custodian or the inventors of system change, that you have it in your manifesto?
Yes, I do. I have projects, for Gambia. I mean, we can talk about this. Like I said, it's in my manifesto, and I can elaborate a little bit. For example, we want to change the minimum wage system. People are earning something like $1,500. We need to change that. We're talking about women being abused. We talk about, roads being built. We talk about schools. We talk about hospitals. And these things, we need to look at all these parties that are talking about system change, what have they done prior to setting up these parties? What have they done as parties being here for 20 years or for 30 years? What have they done as a party, and with all that funding being given to them, what have they done to impact the nation as individuals, as citizens of the Gambia? Since I came back, I've been doing the little I can, and I didn't even set up a party then. I've been just doing what I can in my small capacity to impact lives, to fix stuff and do stuff, and people know about it.
So then, Marie, why didn't you set up like an NGO and continue having an impact in the lives of people?
I do have it. I do have a charity organization, and that's what I use to help people, which is self-funded. It is funded from the little business I do.
So why the need to be a president to impact the change then?
Because I have people with me that felt that I should be the one to support them and help them on that capacity, because they felt that, I'm helping them a lot, but they are behind other politicians and they're not doing anything for them. They said they felt this is for them, not me. I didn't put myself up there. They put me up there.
Thank you. And in regards to one of the problems within the system change that we are calling for right now, and one of the biggest problem that the Gambia is facing today is the civil service reforms. But within what you, according to, I think you portray to have the solution for the Gambia's problem. In regards to civil service reform, which is our biggest problem right now, what solutions do you have, and then what problems have you so far identified?
Well, I've identified, for example, our security, for example, our police, our army, these are our, these are the, how do you call it? These are the security of our country. Our police are underpaid. There's so much crime as far as small lootings and stealings. Our civil servants are underpaid. Our defense are underpaid. So these are all the things that we want to stop when we come into power. We need to create a separation of power. We will have the executive branch, our legislative branch, and then the judiciary civil service. So we have to have the separation of powers so that we can have, the country can work. I cannot be involved in certain areas in this country. It has to be able to be operational by itself. And that can only happen when you have the separation of powers.
Mari, are you Democrat, or would you would you portray yourself to be a Democrat or conservative or the middle?
I'm a social democrat.
That's interesting. Well, being a social democrat and with the plans that you have and the eagerness to make it to impact a difference in the lives of young people, then you deem it fit to be part of a party that is relatively near to be a socialist democratic party.
Am I looking to be with another party, you mean?
Yes. Did you for once thought that let me join or let me identify a political party in the Gambia that that I would class or relatively be associated with a socialist democratic?
This is one of the reasons I cannot join any party because, like I said, my vision and where I want to go is completely different from their vision and they want to go. This is one of the reasons I'm inviting all of them to come together, to endorse me. Unfortunately, I noticed that it's being taken wrongly because they don't understand what I mean by that. In order for me to be able to realize these things that I want to put in place, which is the transparency, accountability, corruption-free government, I need to lead that. I have to lead that. And they have to join. If they feel that they cannot join, that's fine, because even when I go into office, I don't care whether they wear whatever color they wear. I will select people that I know are good enough for those jobs. I put people that want to work so that Gambia can go forward. Because if everyone says, okay, it's Gambia first, then we should be able to work with each other to take Gambia to the next level. So no, I cannot go and join any party because they don't have what I have, or our paths are different.
But Mari, the predictions for 2021 elections is that one can only assume the office by forming a coalition. Will you exempt yourself from that then?
I will exempt myself in that because I wouldn't want what happened now to happen again. Because like I said, people will come with great intentions, but unfortunately, once they take the seat, they are sidetracked. And I am focused. I'm not sidetracked. And in order for me to do what I want to do, even if I'm not in office, I want to hold whoever is in office accountable based on those principles.
Well, what if you are offered this as a what if you are offered a VP? Will you join the coalition?
What if I'm offered a what?
To be as a vice president after winning, will you accept?
Well, as a vice president, you get to do all the job. So no, I don't think I would want to be anybody's vice president just so that I can be used as the tool to fix everything. And like I said, if I don't get the seat, I can still move on because I have a plan A and a plan B. And my plan B is to still go ahead and do what I want to do for our country.
So we are looking at plan B as well.
Yes. In life, you always have a plan A and B.
Yeah, but Mari, in politics, we go for win, and we do all it takes to win. And
Listen,
the plan B is always to join somebody and get in there.
no, no, no. Plan B is not to join somebody. Plan B, you can stand on your own and still do what you're doing and how do you call it? Create a company or a body that can hold every government accountable, also can still impact lives in the Gambia at that point. So that is my plan B. My plan A is, of course, to win. But in life, like I said, listen, the seat is not only for me, there are other parties on ground. And if God says I'm the one, I'm the chosen one, then I'm the chosen one. But I'm not going to just sit here and rely on that. This is why we all sometimes people fail in a sense that they have no other plans because they're so focused on that they are sidetracked. I'm not sidetracked. What I have right now can be done whether I am in there or whether I'm out.
So winning will not be a burden, or losing will not be a burden to your plans still to make a difference to the Gambia. You don't.
No, actually, I think I've already won in the sense that I am standing out for all women and youth. I took the bold step of coming out. That alone is winning in itself because I'm representing the women today. I'm representing the women that don't have a voice. I'm representing the young people that don't have a voice, that want a voice. The women that see me as their mother, as their sister, and they're probably even grandparent. So I'm taking that stand for them. So that already is a bold move, which is a winning point for all women in the Gambia and in Africa as well.
Yeah, but buddy, we have seen in the First Republic, we've had Dr. Aissatou Njai Sedi, and now we have Dr. Aissatou Toure, who also was in the same position as you are today, but end up being a vice president today. And what makes you different? How can you convince the person at Farato or the person at Keljarga or Jokadu? How can you convince them that, hey, listen, we are all, well, many are called, few are chosen, and we all can be women, but there are the best among the best, and there are angels among us, and I could be different. I could change your lives. What makes you unique?
What makes me unique is the fact that prior to them being in those positions, have they really been with this woman? Have they really gone to the places that I've been to? Have they really sat with these people and see their plight? I'm not talking about helping Fatu and Kumba just on the side. I'm talking about dealing with the masses, going to sit with them or helping them or supporting them or paying somebody's school fees and all that. I'm talking about visiting and doing all the things that I've done. Have they really done that prior to being in office, or did they start doing it after they are in office? That's the difference with me. I'm not standing on my own. People put me there. People are pushing me to stand. They said, we want you to stand. They were elected. Somebody elected them to be in that seat. I'm not elected. I'm not elected by anyone. I've been doing what I did, and it's the young people that said, Madam, we want you up there to represent us. So that's the difference between me and them, because I have a heart, and not only that, I have people who, come they say in Wolof, they my yakar. They have their faith in me. They put their faith in me. They put their whole life, like, it is only you that can help us. And I cannot go up there and forget them, because without them, I will not be up there. They put me there in the first place. I don't know if these women were put up there by these people, by the people, or what they have done for the people before. And if they were put up there by these people and they went up there and forgot about them, then it's a shame.
Okay.
It's a shame.
Well, I have that point. We're gonna come to that again, but I'm gonna reverse back a minute. We've seen Yaya Jammeh, how he started and how he ended, and we've seen President Barrow, his personal background being a business. It looks like we have a common denominator here. Yaya President, business. Barrow President, business. Now we have Mary, who said, I am unique, but the common denominator here is business. How would you guarantee the separation, or how would you convince that villager, that taxi driver, that nana seller, that Mansiyen la boka, I'm a jula, but this would be different? I will not put this before my professional responsibility.
Well, first I must correct you, because Yaya was not a businessman. He was an army guy, so He went in as an army and changed his lifestyle then to, how do you call it, a civilian. So that's different. It's only the president we have now that has been probably in business, which was real estate. But okay, when you talk about all of them talk about the same things, which is fighting corruption. But when you say you're fighting corruption and you go into your office, you cannot be in an office where you meet a guy that's been there for over 20 years and you still keep the guy there. You know, you need to shift, you need to change the whole system in that government. Because in order for you to rule, you need to start taking somebody that has been on this position, shifting him either up or out, depending if he's working or not. You need to take this other guy that you know, and then employ young people, bring new people in and mix it up. That way, whoever is PAMSEC for 20 years now probably can be a minister, or can, if he's not producing anything or not doing anything, we can say goodbye to him and put somebody in there. You know, we need to be able to climb up the ladder as individuals when we work for something. But if you leave the same PAMSEC to sit there for the past 20-something years, the same deputy PAMSEC for the past 20-something years in the same place, what do you expect will happen? Then you use the same ministers, recycling them in all departments from one area to the other. I mean, you're not elevating, you're not eliminating, how do you call it, corruption. You're just actually recycling them just for your own good, because you know that this guy is good with this guy. Let me bring him close to me. He can show me the ropes. We are not here to show anybody the ropes. I've seen the ropes, and I don't want those ropes. What I want is change. If we bring Gambia to a plateau, trust me, everybody will be okay. You don't need to steal. You don't need, but you know what? As like I said, look at their backgrounds. Look at where they came from prior to going into office. Because that is very important.
Marie, I will still now in the issue of corruption. You are coming as an independent. And if, for example, you win, you may not have MPs in the National Assembly. So how would you put your policies forward if they don't agree? Would you do as Barrow is doing now, the vehicles, the pickup, and now the lands?
Okay. When you have people work, when you choosing your how do you call it, with the MPs, you know they're elected, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now, when there's laws, like I said, if you create a situation where you have separation of powers, they can govern themselves. They need to do that on themselves, and everything has to be on transparency. That is how you have good governance. You cannot have, you know, everybody, I don't know, one person ruling everything. It doesn't work that way. You understand? So you almost have to have this, all of them have responsibilities. They have their own responsibilities to take care of. I cannot do everything alone. This is one of the reasons, that is one of the things that I'm going to do, which is to separate all powers from the, how do you call it, the executive branch to the legislation to the judiciary and the civil society, how do you call it, for the National Assembly. But that way,
you are the commander-in-chief. You want your yes to be your yes. You want your no to be your no. And then you must go to the extreme to make sure your policies works.
Right, but to be fair, you also have to listen to the people, and you cannot just make decisions on your own. If you have a body that makes decision, it has to go to that body. Now, if you as a head of state see that maybe let's say, for example, let's take COVID-19 for example, and they said, okay, we're gonna not close the we're gonna not impose these extra 40 days or this extra 20-something days, and the head of state said, okay, I'm gonna cancel it, I'm gonna extend it for 21 days. He used his executive powers to do that. But if they say that, okay, we don't want to do that, or we don't want to extend it, and he uses his executive power because he felt that there's a necessity, then if I have to do that, that is what I will have to do. But do it on the sense that you look around you and see if it is necessary to go that way. You understand what I'm saying? Now, so you will have to use your executive orders to implement those things. But like I said, you don't want to do that unless you know that they are, because sometimes you have the MPs as well, they play around. Like you said, they are now receiving a certain amount of money, they're getting land, they're getting car. I mean, for me, based on what? Based on what are they getting those things? Was that put to the table? Was there an agreement or an election or a mandate for them to do that? Or did somebody just give them that? Is that a form of a bribe? Is that a form of, things have to be transparent. We need to have transparency. And this is one of the reasons we need to have this separation of powers in order for people not to just do what they want. Like I said, if I am the, how do you call it, captain on this ship, and I have young people following me, I have to set them, I have to go to the right course. I have to show them how to get to the right course. I can't steer them wrong. I have to steer to the right course because they are following me. That way tomorrow, when they take the government, when the young people get up there, they will know what is right and what is wrong. But we need to set that from the grassroots. That means a big cleanup.
Okay.
And I'm sure people will be scared right now, like, oh, if she comes to your office, she's going to clean up. But that's the fact. That's the only way Gambia can move forward.
So in essence, can I not say social democrat, but a radical democrat? Because you will impose some radical measures that to make sure. Well, yeah, because if to fight corruption, at some point you need to be radical. Would you? Because in as much as you are alone, you don't have any MPs who may support what you want to put in through. Will you be radical and say, look, I'm going to use my executive power to exercise my executive power as guaranteed by the law, which you would have to pass on things like we just seen Brown did. MPs vote no, and he said yes.
I will not call it radical Democrat. I'll call it still social democrat because I'm doing it for the populace. I'm doing it for Gambia. I'm doing it for us to be able to move on. And if MPs want to work with me, fine. If they don't, like you said, I will start using executive orders because we need to get work done. We need to start doing things for Gambia so Gambia can move on. This is why I'm encouraging people. We don't want to get to that. We want to work together. Let's put things together. Let's see what's reasonable so that we can get this country forward. And I'm inviting everybody to work with me.
Okay. And Mari, somebody asked this question here. What do you think about the education system and how it's been managed during the pandemic? I think it's a question that I would have asked this thing later, but I'm just through now. How would you have done it differently?
Well, first of all, I think it's nonsense that they have classes on the TV with knowing that the majority of homes don't even have electricity, knowing that the majority of homes don't even have QTV. Because mostly they have this analog system. So you putting something on TV that the majority is not watching, for me, it's a non-starter. This was all things that we were supposed to have prior to COVID-19. We cannot now, out of the blue, start implementing things that we didn't even start doing before. So like I said, what I would have done differently, first of all, like I said before, on my manifesto, we have ideas to change all that. Schools should already have a system where children can tap into this, technology. You don't expect somebody. So who are you teaching right now? Who are you teaching right now? Are you teaching only the few children that are going to private schools? Because that's what it seems. So what about the other schools? What about the public schools? What about the masses? So we have to start integrating these technology into our schools already from the grassroots. From the primary school to the high school. That way, today, like COVID-19, these kids can all have that. And also the villages. You should have a system or use a TV station that has analog system where they can see from here to Basse. Don't use a system that not everyone can tap into because that's digital. We are not digitalized.
But
after Brikama, there's no electricity. My friend.
Well, I would definitely agree with you on that. But Mari, government did what they can.
Yes, they did.
Well, would you have done in your situation? If you win 2021, let's say for example, you would inherit a very, 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 very bad government and a very bad system. What would you do if something like this or another pandemic happens? What is the way out?
Well, let's just say as soon as I take office, we're going to start looking at our medical system. We're going to look at our education system. These are my priority. Try to get those things taken care of, see the schools, the conditions of the schools. I already know the conditions of the school. I mean, I have a school behind me here in the heart of Bigelow, which you have all the mansions where all the roofs, half of the roofs fly away. So they're doing two classes, two school sessions a day. So these are the kind of schools, and then see how we can extend all the way to the provinces and see what they need and what they lack. We build on those that are already existing, then later add more to that. So you're looking at the health system. Right now, COVID-19, they didn't use the hospital. If you go to the hospital, there's enough space or things to be able to prepare. We saw this announcement of COVID-19 for almost 2 months prior to it reaching to us. And we've been watching TV. Most of these offices, government offices, have TV. They have CNN. So they should have known that, listen, we need to prepare. How can we prepare? Maybe we need to fix what we have, extend it so that we can prepare, put things in place. Start getting, instead, people are fighting for 10 million, because they hear $10 million. They're fighting for the money instead of focusing on what they need to do to have that in place. Start ordering stuff. You see, even America ordering stuff, they're fighting with other countries to get the stuff, like the mask and stuff. So they were not focused on how to prepare. They were focused on the money or the funds that were coming. And it's so sad. All that time they sat fighting and quarreling for the funds. People were getting sick. The borders were not closed. A lot of things were neglected. Like I said, every government has its good and bad. And we will try. I think this is an eye-opener for us. We learn from what we see, and we want to do better, much better. And I think I'm always, like I said, I'm always prepared. What I'm doing right now, just for my campaign, or just right now, prior to being a presidential candidate, tells a lot about who I am, how prepared I am. I always prepare in advance. I don't wait till last minute. When I'm doing an event or program, I'm planning 6 months or 8 months or 1 year ahead. That's just me. And we need to stop being, so lackadaisy about everything. This is why everything is mediocre. Everything.
So if I hear you well, Mari, you were at the sideline watching their mistakes, putting it down, and attaching a solution to it, and that concludes you to today where you are.
No, I didn't just sit down. I made masks. I went out of my way when I saw that they were concentrating on things like how do you call it, workshops. I mean, even the United States, that is bigger than all the countries, I didn't see them having workshops on COVID-19. I didn't see them have training. Whilst they were training and doing their workshops and doing their classes on TV, I was busy sewing masks. I think I was the first person being out there to give out masks. Because I felt, hey, you're not watching TV enough to know it's not only gloves and sanitizers. You're going around giving sanitizers, you're going around, gloves are not enough, sanitizers are not enough. Do you know, for example, the air clinic, I came to find out they had only 2 bottles of sanitizers. My aunt went there and said they had only 2 bottles of sanitizer. They're using rubbing alcohol. A whole clinic, a whole hospital with that clinic. Where are the sanitizers? Then you're not even talking about masks. You're talking about, you wrote a list for WHO to order you some things and you put condom. What has condom got to do with COVID-19? I mean, I'm sorry, but okay, whilst they were doing that, let's just say I made some masks. I went to the heart of the places. I gave masks even to little kids. And all these things you will see on my sites. When you go to the Africa Initiative site on Facebook, you will see everything that I've done. When you go to my website, www.theafricainitiative.org, you will see all that we do. If you go to Good This Gambia on Facebook, you will see what we do. I act. I said, listen, you're talking about when you talk, there's liquid particles coming out of your mouth. So when you talk, you can transmit it. And you're still talking about condoms and sanitizers. My friend, you need to, go ahead of, be ahead of the game.
Okay, Mari, now there is clearly out there that we have an issue of good governance in the Gambia. And what is your understanding of good governance?
Well, good governance is when you really look at your people, when you look at your cabinet, you fill your cabinet with young people, young innovative people. You have transparency in what you do. You have accountability in what you do. You show these young people how to be accountable. You change the system, create job opportunities, give opportunity to all so that they can prove themselves, because you cannot have a government where you have the same people in there. The reason why you do that is because maybe it's because of corruption, because you know that you cannot say that the past government was corrupt or all our money is gone, and then you keep the same people in there or recycling them. That alone tells a lot about bad governance. But when you change and you bring change and you resolve issues and you solve all these issues that we have today, and you can only do that through accountability and transparency and changing the system in the cabinet, then you can now emphasize and work on governing this country properly.
Okay, and coming back to giving jobs to young people, in the Gambia, we have two sectors that are very important and that are equally a challenge. That's the tourism industry and also the agricultural industry right now.
Yes.
What is your own assessment? How would your campaign team assess the state of our agricultural situation in the Gambia?
The agricultural state right now is dead. Right now, as I speak to you, I have women in the provinces that are calling me that their peppers they have all these peppers and they don't know what to do with them and they're discarding it. So you grow all these people. All they do for them is vegetable farm. How many vegetable farms do we need? And it's the same vegetables: tomato, pepper, jahatu. Tomato, pepper, jahatu, and salad. How many salad can you eat? How many peppers can you eat? When you don't have any exporting facility for them, when you don't have any platform for them to take these things and turn them into paste, or production to turn them into paste and all that for export. Then you talk about rice. We don't grow rice anymore. I see rice fields that are completely dried up. And we have rice fields that are so close to the sweet water where you can create piping system and we can have rice because rice grows every 3 months. So every 3 months in the whole year, you can have rice and harvest the other year, have rice again and harvest. So, and these are things that we can use in the community and then even try to export it, because we have that trade with the US. US have a free trade with with Africa right now to send things to export to the US, and we are not using those resources. We're probably using it for our friends and family, but on a global scale or on a national scale, these women that are growing the rice or these rice fields can be taught and packaged nicely and be sold to companies in the US because they're natural and they're ethnically sourced. That means it is locally made with no additive or any how do you call it chemical. So and these are all innovative ideas that we're killing. We're not taking opportunities that are given to us. Then you talk about growing other stuff. Like I said, there's nothing out there. Even when they grow this stuff, where are they going to sell it? Who are they going to sell it to? So now we open the gate where they're selling to Senegalese. The Senegalese come to the Lumos here, they buy the stuff and they take it to Senegalese. You talk about peanuts. We are paying these farmers maybe $18 or so for their peanuts. Senegal is coming and buying it on a higher price. Who do you think they're going to sell to? Who do you think they're going to sell to? So these are all the little issues that we have to address. And then I have other plans or other things that we can grow to improve the agricultural sector and also to add or boost our economy. But that I cannot reveal here because that is one of our, ticket, and it's in our manifesto. The other thing that you asked, the other question was about,
the tourism, say it again? The hospitality and the tourism industry.
Well, the hospitality and the tourism industry, we have to look at that deeply because, like I said, we have cheap tourism coming to the Gambia. I remember in the 80s and 90s, we had quality tourism, tourists coming to the country. They even became investors afterwards in the country because they love the country so much. But now what we are having, we're just selling off, we are just mortgaging our country. We're selling it off cheap. You can come to the Gambia for 300 and something pounds, and you ask yourself, can Gambians go to England, hotel paid with breakfast included for 300 and something pounds? Can we do that? No, we can't. The flight alone is more than 300 and something pounds. But you can get a 3-day or 7-day trip to the Gambia. But so you're inviting every Dick, Tom, and Harry sitting in the street. You can even be homeless in England and afford to come to Gambia.
Okay.
And this is what is hurting our tourism industry. And then you open the floodgates for all kinds of people to come into the country. That is not tourism.
Okay, I will give you one case study, and
Mhm,
we look at how to manage, or we see how, or we're gonna hear, or they're gonna hear how you can address it.
mhm.
Currently, we have this situation with the Gambia Restaurant and Clubs and Bars Association.
I
It,
saw that. Yeah.
yes, it's something that happened,
Mhm,
and then these are some prominent Gambian businessmen in the hotel industry. They said
mhm,
they are not being contacted when that association was, or that executive was selected. So
mhm.
we now, the situation here we have in hand, we have a group of Gambians who have been sidelined, and we have a group of, for example, excuse the word I will use, non or foreigners, or the other sector of the
Mhm,
Gambian society, who wants
mhm,
to take advantage and control that sector. Now,
mhm,
we are now looking at foreign policies, Gambia interests. So now,
mhm.
how would you promote Gambian businesses, especially in the tourism and agricultural sector? Specific example is that case I've given you, putting the
Yes.
Gambian in the forefront of business.
Yes, first I think that I watched it and I saw Mr. Hatib Jane there, and I applauded that because I feel that if the restaurants are forming an association, is the restaurant are not just owned by foreigners or non-Gambians. The restaurant actually, Hatib has been in the industry for a very long time. I have a friend of mine. The reason I'm so keen on that is I have a friend of mine who's been in the in the industry for years, for 2 decades. And they've been in the hotel and restaurant business for quite a long time. And all these people, they should have contacted, because even if you're choosing an executive body for that, how do you call it, that association, these people should be included. And I think that is so unfair. And I'm kind of disappointed in our brothers that are Gambians or mixed Gambians that are in the Gambia and are part of that. They should have enforced that everyone that is in the hotel or in the restaurant business in this country be contacted. Now, if they contact them and they refuse, then I can understand, hey, we contacted you, you refuse to be part of. But they cannot come to the Gambia as a non-Gambian and then impose certain things and then try to do that on their own. That is completely wrong. That
Yeah,
is completely wrong. And what I would do different, I will not accept it if that comes to my table, or if that is known, I will not accept it. I will say, I don't, because listen, I'm a Gambian and I know the restaurants owned by Gambian how many years. I probably know more restaurants owned by Gambians than non-Gambians. I know few non-Gambians that live here, but they're married here. And if that was something during my time, I will make sure that they go back to the drawing board and make sure all we are contacted properly prior to selecting the executives for that association. Because you want to be inclusive, you have to include these Gambians. You cannot have an executive where the top they're all foreigners. Come on. I mean,
but
we should have policies. We should have policies put on place for that.
okay, I was gonna ask you that, because if I, for
Yeah,
example, I'm in the UK, if I have my money, I can set up my
mhm.
business, and nobody can tell me what to do. But then
That's fine.
I was gonna ask you. Of course, sometimes I may not, something gonna block me, which you just mentioned is the policies, and that's where I was going to get at. We
Yeah.
and so in January, what is there for Gambians in prior to, or like I end up with my, like I did said previously,
Mhm.
what would you do to put Gambians first, promoting the Gambia interests with, for
That
example?
is what I'm saying. When you put policies in place that, let's say, for example, like you said, you're a foreigner and you come here and you open your restaurant, you're successful. That does not make you Gambian. You're just a resident. And then we need to look at policies that says, okay, as a resident, what can you do or how can you do to participate in this? It has to be something that is made in the Gambia. That way, when you come, you get yourself involved, but then you cannot come from your country, wherever you come from, and start to make policies in my own country. Because when I went to America, for example, when I lived in Spain, I didn't go there and start putting things on place and saying that this is mine. I mean, I would not even get the chance. Even to open a business there, I had to go through a lot of scrutiny to make sure some were even saying I'm opening a shop with mask, or with this the mask that the Africans make in the streets and artifacts. So they felt that that was what I was using that boutique for. So they cannot come here too and try to impose that on us. It's either you work in partnership with our people or we have policies put in place which, which kind of helps our people, which supports our people first. And then if you want to be part of that association, there's a system or there's a way that you apply and probably get approved, which will be the decision of the body that set that, that policy or that association in the first place. And I think the association should be homegrown.
So would you, during this time that you are on your process or on route to be a candidate, would you have any, or would you get involved in that issue with the restaurant and thing issue? Will you have anything to do? Will you approach them and say, look, I want to help them, in return, help me if I be a president, these are my plans? Would you contact them?
Would I contact who?
Would you get involved in that current problem that's going on with the hotel industry? Because I know.
No, why would I get involved in that? I mean, we have people, I think somebody like Hatib has been in the industry long enough. Somebody like my friend Haratu have been in the industry long enough. And I think they can handle that. You know, they have to stand up and say, listen, we can still come together, we can do this, but we need to have this policy under our government, or we have to have the association and we need to be part of the association, and we have to be also part of the decision-making body, you know, which is the top executive.
Yeah,
you know?
they want.
But I cannot get involved right now in my way just because I want to get elected.
Yeah, but right now, they have an issue, and they want someone to speak to. And the bigger problem is not just that. The bigger problem is the policy, where it's lapsed. It allows somebody from the outside to dominate the Gambians. And you
but
are.
Is that the policy? Is that the policy that is in place right now?
Well, yes, and also again, I'm going to end there. Again, you are very concerned about youth and women, and if you go
that's what I'm saying. Is that the policy that is on ground? Because if that's the policy that is on ground, then I think they need to come together and reform that association again, because I think it is wrong that they don't have the majority of the restaurants in the Gambia, or the heads of the restaurants in the Gambia, or notable heads of restaurants in the Gambia to have a say on that. So they need to redo that. They need to call all of these, sit with them, and then do a voting, go through a voting system.
Okay. I also, I'm going to play here something that you did said about a project, and then we're going to dwell on it. It has to do with, now I'm going to go with youth in the Gambia and job creation as well. So if you allow me 1 minute, let me just bring up this thing and we discuss about it.
His Excellency Mr. Cisse, and I want to thank him for this initiative. You don't expect the youth to vote for you when election comes, when you ain't doing nothing for them. You create a platform, and the only way you can create a platform and send a message to them is what they can relate to. What can they relate to? Entertainment, art. You create a platform for them, you can send a message. You can sensitize them through these events, through these creative arts, entertainment art. The entertainment industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry everywhere else in the world. In Africa, we downplay it. We downplay it. And if you look at the US today, rappers, people like P. Diddy, they were from the hood. But look at him today, he's an entrepreneur. And they're inspiring other kids to get out of the hood. So if that's not inspiration enough, I don't know what is. And whatever message you want to send, this is the platform to.
Yes, Marie, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, sorry.
You seems to be so concerned and quite often using the language, wanting to be mentoring youths to get into something and specific to business and entrepreneur. And then you are so concerned also about creative art. During your time in the Gambia, did you manage to get involved in any project that addressed these things that you were campaigning for in Ethiopia in 2019 in January?
Yes, I did the wrestling matches. Like I said, I have projects on the table right now that, like the Miss Senegambia project, but I couldn't implement that because at that time the government said I have to work on the Miss Gambia project. So I worked with the minister at that time with that. It was a consultation for almost a year that we were doing to implement. It's a platform for women, but mostly I worked with the wrestling match with the young boys or young men that had the tendency of leaving the country and going back way to Europe. And I felt that, in order for us to eliminate that, we need to start creating platforms so that they can see themselves. Not everyone went to school. All this money that EU gave for the youths, so that to encourage them not to go back way, or for returnees, you giving it to youths that cannot even pronounce the word forum or seminar. You're giving it to youths that they don't come to these areas. These are the ones that are in the dense areas in the Gambia. So when I talk to some of the youths, and I went to the beach and I sit with them and I chat with them, and they say "Ñun li lañ xam," because some of them apparently they're not even uneducated; they are educated because they went to Quranic school. But there's no job, or there's no platform for them to continue, with that study. So they decided to go into what we call this cultural art, which is wrestling, and they want to see themselves in it. So I said, okay, now I'll make this platform broader so that all of you can have a chance. It was a non-profit thing because I didn't make any profit in any of the show. What I was trying to do was create a platform to showcase talent. That way they can be selected by these how do you call it, by these ecries or houses, to see their talent and select them as talent and induct them in their clubs.
Thank you. And you also, during that conference, you also made a remark about the YEP project. And still now going back to system change again. And what is your assessment of the current YEP project? Because I am assuming that you would know these projects because of your focus is the youth and the women.
Yeah, because I write to all the entities. I write to YEP. If you say you're a youth empowerment project or youth empowerment pillar, whatever their name is, you should be able, if I write to you and tell you I'm having a wrestling match, be part of it or see how you can support. So when you say you're supporting the youths, I mean, I'm looking around and I'm like, what kind of youths are you supporting? You only concentrating on a small platform of youths that they're circulating the how do you call it, the NGO system, and it's like a little network that is going on that, and we need to look at that because that is what is going on. This is why the help is not going to the people that really need it, and then we still sit here and wonder why we still have people taking the boats and risking their lives going back way, because the ones that you're giving, listen, it is easy. You call your friend, write a project, because we have this project coming on. They write a project, they submit it. Next thing, they make a little show, make a little platform, put some TV, go to a hotel, pay, la la la. The same circle of people, the same people surrounding that market or that how do you call it, NGO or whatever, and they're there and they invite one or two people. Then it's done. Now, then, okay, who did you set that for? Who did you set that for? Who are you empowering? So if I'm having a wrestling match and I write to YEP and they said, well, I'm sorry, but this is not, or what was it again, the letter? They send a letter back that at this point in time, they cannot support that. Why? Because I can't give you a kickback. Why? Because it is not the kind of youth that you empower. What kind of youth do you empower? Because the youth I empower are the ones that are neglected. These are the masses that are going out of the country. These are the masses that cannot work in our system. These are the masses that kill themselves outside because they are completely forgotten. And please, let me tell you something. They are the majority. They are the majority.
Okay. And from there, Marie, I will tell you the current state of the Gambia, what we or some people are looking for. We have a taxi driver who would never dreamed of having a bank account. We will have a woman who sells at the market canny, petty traders. We have some women who will live on food combined with them the food you and I pay every four every $500. These people, they would never ever dream of having or having a breakfast with even an uncle butter. Sorry to say. But
It's
Marie,
true.
and you being away from the Gambia, I'm not sure how much experience you have or you would have to come down to the level of the poor to understand their feeling, to put yourself in them positions. Now, this becomes a challenge, or if you want to differ from me after you can, but I am challenging you that given the time that you have spent in the Gambia, did it suffice enough to put you in that condition of somebody who is selling or who's making a daily sale of $400 or $200 and still have a child to go to education? Now, how would you address inequality in accessing state resources?
Well, this is what I was saying. Like in our manifesto, we have covered that because we are ready to empower the youths in that sector. You talk about whether I have put myself on that level. I have taxi drivers next to my office. They're all my friends for the simple reason when I can have my car parked here and I need to go somewhere where I don't want to drive, and I'll help them out. I'll take their taxi and they go and do that. Sometimes my daughter want to go out and I'll help them, and to take a just so that I can help them, to give them something. I empower them. I support them. I allow them to park by my office and all that. And I try to talk to them every day. I try to sensitize them and let them know that, they need to do more, or they need to, I am like just my security. When I said to him, listen, I'm running for office and I need you to sensitize people on a lot of things. He said, well, I'm going for election. I said, my friend, you want to live off attire all the time, or you want to accelerate in life? You have a child, you think I'm going to be here giving you $100 all the time or $100 every day? Hello?
Yeah, but my campaign Gambia so we win for are you prepared for that mentally to in as much as you fight corruption and guarantee?
No. This is why we're sensitizing them. You see, let me tell you something. If people don't get out of, hey, you have to, like I told my watchman, I told him, I said, listen, if you want me to give you attire money before you go and sensitize or tell people that I'm running to support me, then you're gonna be here for a very long time. I said, "Denga wara bugal sa buwa padara." You understand? You have a child, you have 2 kids, and you want them to grow up to be somebody. Aren't you thinking of them? You want them to do the same thing you're doing. You want them to just sit there and be a watchman and be getting handouts for attire. And then he listened well, and then he said, Wanga diga. I said, again, I said, if I give you something today, I felt that I've paid you. And then you will feel obligated to do what I want. But then tomorrow, when I sit up there, I'm going to forget about you. I said, so if you want me not to forget about you, you need to stand up, because this is for you. This is your moment. It's not about you. It's about your family. And he listened.
But Marie,
and he listened.
Marie, politics is win. The objective of politics is win. What kind of politics do you want to play then to get there?
Well, when I say I'm a goodwill politician, I put goodwill there in the sense that I want to sensitize people. They've been doing what they're doing. They've been giving them money. You saw what happened with the rice. They've been giving them everything for the past 50 years. And if people don't learn now, they will never learn again. Because let me tell you something. If I pay somebody something, if I give somebody something, and they feel that I have to pay them to vote for me, and then they wonder why all these years that has been happening, and then the person sit on top and forget about them. It is their doing. I tell everyone, listen, any politician come out there, they give you money, take it, because at the end of the day, it is your money. It is your money they're giving back to you. But vote for the person that is going to make you have a future, that is going to make your kids have a future. Vote for long-term goals, not for short-term goals.
So you do not have problem with giving money, but your emphasis is to take the money, but know what you're doing.
No, I say, if other politicians are giving them money, let them take the money, because listen, at the end of the day, it is their money. Any politician that have a political party, they are supported to have money. This money they give to the people in election time, which is wrong, because I feel that money is for development and to help the people and to support the people. But if you take the people like you're buying the people, then you wonder why when they go into office, they forget about you. Now, what I try to tell them is they need to think about long-term goals. They need to think about what is good for them and for their kids and for their grandkids. That is more important than now, because this is why for the past 50 years, people just give them money and they're done with them. They don't even try to come back and find out until the next election, then they start contacting them. And we need to get out of that. We need to get out of that.
Yeah, but Mari, we've seen political parties who have been so good in civic educating the Gambians on electoral process and right to vote and why to votes. Here now, I'm looking for a magic word. Likewise, the Gambians. Some of these people here are asking your uniqueness. So some comments here are only in. Some people here are only interested in seeing why are you different? Why are you unique? We want to hear what we have not heard from any politician in the Gambia. We want to see what we have not seen in the political field in the Gambia. And what I mean by that is we have given 7 or 6 political parties a chance in 2016, and none of them, or as a coalition, did not succeed, and we're still trying for the same problems since 1965. Now here we have Murray, who, according to her, came to the Gambia just to settle finally in 2013. Murray, we want to hear that unique approach, process, and programs that Murray has to give to the Gambian people. We want to see a big difference. One, for the fact that you are a woman, yes, but whether that justifies that you should win or not is up to the people. But again, from you, what is the magic word or the magic approach? What is there that we have not seen from you, or that you have that nobody has ever done or have in the Gambia? If this
Well,
is your
what, yeah.
what do you want to share now?
Well, what you have not seen, what is different? One, I'm not affiliated with any political party. Two, I'm not coded by colors. Three, I am not into religion, like I'm a Muslim, I'm a Christian. I embrace all. And four, sorry, I said, was it 1, 2, 3? 4, I am calling on everybody, whether, the women and youth, and I'm standing for them. So that has never happened in this country. I've never seen a politician come and say, I'm only representing the youth and the women. I've not seen any political party that come and said, oh, and divided by tribe. All these political parties are divided by tribes. They're divided by this party is a Maningo, this party is a Fula, this party, and we need to stop that. That is breaking us apart. So this is what I have that is different, because I want to stand with everyone, because I'm related to everybody. I want to bridge that gap. I want to bring everybody together so we can work as Gambia. I want to see everybody as Gambia, not in color, not in tribe, not in religion. That's one thing, one major thing I have in difference with them. And also I'm standing for the youth and the women. That's a number 2 point that I'm doing. Number three point that I'm doing, I'm getting so many distractions. Number 3 point that I'm trying to get at is what I have different from them. I don't just talk, I've been doing prior to announcing. Most of them do after they announce. Most of them do after they talk about it and get funding, then they start helping. I don't do that. You understand? I don't do that. I'm here to empower the youth. I'm going to have a government that's going to have youth. I'm going to be transparent. I cannot say I'm going to eliminate corruption 100%. Any politician that tells you they're going to eliminate corruption 100%, that's a lie. I'm going to try my level utmost best to eliminate at least 80 to 90% so that Gambia can move forward. Listen, I'm not here. I've already lived my life. I've already given back. My children are fine. I want to give back to these young people. I want to give back to this country. If you want to give back to the country, you want to make your country look good. You want to come here and retire. You want to say, you know what, this is my country. I want to go and rest. We have a lot of people want to come home, but when they think about all the challenges when they come home, it's discouraging. So what I have different, this is what I have different from all these people that have been on ground, because they've been promising this for all these years. Even as political parties, you don't see them doing anything other than 1 or 2 things that they did. The major things that they should be doing as Gambians, they're not doing it. They're not doing it.
But okay, Murray, well, I know wherever you stand is very firm, because you're now has initiated a challenge with political parties that exist for a long time and been doing things and been saying things. But let's see where they will end. And our next biggest problem in the Gambia is the healthcare system. Now, before we go to a solution, how would you assess that, Marie?
When you look at the healthcare system, it is it's a shame. I mean, it is only in Gambia I hear that women are dying giving birth, a childbirth. It's only in Gambia that people are dying of curable diseases, or curable infection. You can even have an infection and die of it. Nowadays when you're sick, you're even scared to go to the hospital. You go to the hospitals, you talk about pregnant women sharing one bed. You go to the children's ward. I mean, you see kids and they're putting them in one bed or putting the parents on the floor. Then you go outside. You have parents that are coming from the provinces to visit their families. They have nowhere to stay. They have nothing to eat. They're sleeping in the street. I used to cook and take food with my friend Haratu to go and serve them food. Sometimes they would not even want to take it because they thought we are selling it. But then they realize that it's free and they're so happy and they say something like, oh, we didn't eat for 3 days. So these are all the things that we need to look at and change that. You understand? When you go to the children's hospital, you want to cry. You go to the maternity ward, you want to cry. You go to the provinces. Now that is a whole other ball game. There's no hospital. They're only little clinics. And sometimes they have a sick patient, ambulance is not there, or they don't even have an ambulance. So the person is on a saret. And on that donkey cart, by the time they make it, either they're dead or their situation worsen, then you now talk about coming from the province to come to the nearest major hospital. So, I mean, we can talk and talk and talk and talk about the hospital. You go to the hospital, you don't want to stay overnight. There are no sheets on the bed. And if there are sheets on the bed, you don't want to lay on it. You want to carry, somebody said to me, Marie, when I'm sick, when you make sure you come to the hospital, make sure you bring Dettol and Dettol everything, make sure you bring sheet, bring pillow, bring bed sheet. I'm like, man. So I went to the hospital to see, and I saw that, and I saw everything. They don't even, listen, if a hospital right now says they don't have enough sanitizer, that they're using rubbing alcohol, that should tell you a lot. You can give the hospital everything. We can bring stuff, but also our nurses. Do we have enough nurses? Do we have well-trained nurses? Do we have a nursing center where we can train the nurses according to, from the starting section of being a nurse, which is the CNA, that is the first level of being a nurse. Then you go to LPN. Then you go to an RN. RN is the top highest level for nurses. My grandmother worked at that hospital. My grandmother was a midwife and also a matron in that hospital back in the day. And I remember when I was young, going to the Royal Victoria Hospital, for example, in those days were called that. The nurses are clean. They're wearing, white. Everything is nice. You go in there, it smells like a hospital. Everything is clean, organized. There was a reception. You go to the hospital, they tell you go over there and get, take a test so that we can know the blood type. I'm walking with the guy and he says, well, you just follow the sign. Well, how can I follow the sign when the signboard is, the direction is another way?
Okay.
The signboard, the only signboard I saw there is turning somewhere else. So many little things. We need to reform and fix these things because people are dying for something that is so simple.
Yeah, but okay, at a bigger picture, at national level, because the examples we've given here, all we've talked about here is specific to maybe personal experiences or where you've been to or where you are aware of. But how about the villages? How about the rural part of Gambia? What is your plan for the overall healthcare system?
But that is what I said. I said to you, from here to the provinces is the same. In the provinces, there are no hospitals. So now we need to start building hospitals, not clinics with no ambulances or clinics with nothing. Not even the clinic will have maybe 1 or 2 beds with a table. So we need to build proper hospitals. This is one of the reasons I was telling you that all these so-called political parties that have been here for over 20 years, each of them should have built a hospital in a region or in a town. This is something that we need to do, because when somebody is sick in the provinces and the nearest major hospital, you're rushing him to Banjul. By the time they make it to Banjul, they're dead. Or they try to go to the hospital in Brikama. And then you have private clinics. Private clinics, most of the time, the doctors are working in the city or sometimes some of them have a private clinic, but it's not a hospital. A clinic is different from a hospital. And we don't have that. And we think people don't know the difference. Our people think that a clinic is a hospital. All they know is lopitan. They know them lopitan. They don't know this is a clinic. They don't know this is a pharmacy. They don't know all that. Why they know them is lopitan? What them is lopitan? That's all they know. So when they are sick, guess what? They go to the clinic or they go to the what they call lopitan, and it's not a hospital. So we need to have major hospitals close to these places, and then we have to have certain clinics that can cater to them for minor illnesses and stuff. And also for maternity. Maternity is key because we have women all over from Basse to Banjul, and you know, we have no facilities for them to give birth. You hear stories like the baby came out and the baby died. These are stories, when you hear it, you cry. When I go to the provinces, I cry until I come back. Huh?
Okay.
So these are the things that we've seen, and these are the things that we are going to improve on and build on.
So, Marie, how was all these things you said? They are policies and programs attached, and they need financing.
Yes.
And then how would you intend to generate funds to finance this program?
My friend, if they can take out $10,000 and $10 million in the COVID-19 and it's disappeared, I think that 10 million could have built at least 2 clinics or enhanced the hospital in Banjul in preparation. Exactly. It's a loan. What? Yeah, that's a loan. No, that's a loan. Now listen. That's what I'm saying. If they can take that and use that, but we have resources. We have what is the Social Security pension fund doing? There's money sitting there. You know, why are they taking them? Why is the money being given to the central bank? Why are they using that on profit? You understand what I'm saying? Listen, people know, we know, you know, we know what's going on. You use that money to make money, but you're not using that to develop the country. You know, you talk about, you know, come on, it's like a cartel. You know, it's like a cartel. And we will get to the bottom of it. Like I said, I have them in my manifesto. I cannot read. The more I talk, it's like I'm just bringing out bits and pieces from my manifesto. And I know people are sitting there trying to edit their manifesto. People that have manifesto for 25 years are beginning to edit their manifesto to capture the youth and the people. But nobody ever talked about these things.
Okay. Marie, I'm gonna go back a little bit. You have been in the media for less than 2 weeks, and now we've seen a document that is circulating, pretending to, or it could be, if some are saying it's a falsified document, some are saying no, it's not, some are saying yes. And lastly, today I saw the advisor of the president, one of the advisors, posting that letter, saying that the college that you claim to have your degree could not verify that degree. So
first of all, let me say something, Pa. I never said I had a degree. I said I went to school here, primary school, high school, and I did 2 years additional course on that art center. Actually, I was even calling my art teacher to kind of tell me the name of the school, because I remember it was around Marina Parade. So I said I did that. And then when I went to America, I enrolled to Kankakee College, but I never had time because I was so busy. I was going through a bitter divorce. And because I was going through a bitter divorce, I'm running around with my business. I could not go to school. Now, I did call the career center, and I do remember doing even some courses with the career center because I was opening a business with a hair salon for my, for somebody. And I had to do that to get the license. She said, oh, you actually have some credits on that. So I said, okay, give me those credits too. Whilst I was talking to her, because I called the school. I said, why would you verify and say that? He said, no, we never did. So they actually told me the name of the person. They sent me all the correspondence with that person. And they said, no, we said that you did enroll, but you don't have any college credits because we don't have those credits. And even if we do, we cannot release them to anybody without your consent. And at no platform did I ever say I have a degree or I have a master's degree. I don't claim such because I have what we call ADD, attention deficit disorder, in case some people don't know it. And I cannot sit somewhere when I have a business to run and I have a divorce going on to concentrate. So I focus on my business. What I did do was get a lot of certification in the fields that I was working. Like I worked for Ford. I made sure I was certified as a blue-collar certified dealer. And to get that blue-collar certified dealer, you have to study. You have to get certified before you get that pin. I got certified in a lot of fields. I got certified and licensed as a loan solicitor. I got certified. These are certifications. And I said that in my prior meetings, in my prior interviews. But I never claimed to have a degree. And I don't know why they're so fixated by that when all these other ones that have been in office I don't even know whether they have a high school diploma, period.
Okay. Now, I think well, somebody is saying here that it says on your profile that you have, are you aware of the people who manage your website, or do you tell them what to write in there?
No, I have a program that I'm studying right now, which is the MBA program for management. And I just finished the first course, and I'm going through the second course. The people that manage my site, that has been up a while ago because I've been doing that course, which is like business management. And I've been studying that. So I've finished the first phase, which I got the certificate is hanging in my office on management and skills. And I'm just doing it because most of the things that they already know, but I just did it just to get the paper. So I'm on the second course and I have to pay to do that. So I'm in the middle of the second course, but because of all this, I can't even continue to study. So I told them, this was a while ago prior to even wanting to run for office, that they were doing that. If you look at my site, or if they would have seen my Facebook page for quite a bit, that has been on there. And I'm not going to change it just because it's something that I'm doing. And when you talk about, it's not a master's degree program. It is not a master's degree program. So I'm doing that just for self, just so that I can improve myself in that field as a businesswoman.
So is there any...
That means I'm studying. If you look at it, it says studying at. I'm studying at, or I'm doing this at so-and-so institute for that MBA.
Excuse me. So
it doesn't say I've graduated with an MBA or master's in whatever. It doesn't say that, does it?
No.
Unfortunately, some people, they don't understand the English language. But I was born in the English language.
Okay. Now, in the event that you did not complete that course, is that going to come off your biography?
Listen, when I sat here with all the platforms that I didn't even mention that. I never mentioned that. The reason why I never mentioned it because I'm not complete.
Okay.
I never mentioned it on any platform. You can go back to all the videos and see where I said I'm doing an MBA course or whatever. I never mentioned it because it's not completed, because I don't even know if I can complete it because I'm so busy.
Okay. The reason why I asked is if not for somebody as responsible as a presidential advisor put it up, I wouldn't have asked because people will just make up stories anyway. So to go back to
that presidential advisor, for him to even be on a platform like that on Facebook tells a lot of what kind of governing body we have. And to be that petty to repost that, well, I asked him, does he have any qualifications whatsoever to be even called honorable in the first place?
Okay, for the purpose of those who are listening, I am not saying she has, or I'm not telling her that she has. We are trying to clarify a point here. I see some people are going off track, but we are trying to clarify something that has been said, and I think she has every right to clarify and clear her name and clear those allegations. And then, would you mind? Okay, I'm not gonna reply to this boy who's saying, but would you mind, or are you in a position to say who and from what, or who was trying to, or who attempted to contact this institution? Would you mind to share?
Well, they gave me the name. I have the letter. They wrote a letter that somebody called Alex Dabo or Alassane or Al Hussein Dabo. He works for the Standard newspaper, and for the Gambia is the one that I have the letter with his signature with his information. But then last night there's a lady called Fatima that wrote that she's not affiliated with this Dabo, and this person is using her name to discriminate or how do you call it, banish or how do you call it, bring me down. I mean, I have the emails because I know those people in the school. My children went to those schools. I have newspaper how do you call it how do you call it, interviews in that town. That is my town. You know, I even know the sheriff. I was well known in that place.
Okay, sorry. B.A. Jan, please exercise some kind of respect in here. We are not here to say who is lying or who is not. If you wanna be part of this show and listen, we will kindly welcome that. But if you wanna go the other way around and be rude, I'm gonna ban you from this group, and I have the right to do so. Sorry for this interruption. And I think the issue of we have less than 10 minutes to go, and I think the issue of this degree, I think it's been dealt with now. And I don't expect anybody to bring up again, because in the first place, degree is not a qualification to be a Gambian president. And that is done and dusted. But given these things happen, Marie, does it make you any stronger now moving forward? Or did you feel any kind of, is there any downside of you that when you sit down and reflect and say, man, dama give up, got Gambia, that's him?
No. You know, like I said, I'm a woman and I know what it is to be in the limelight. You have to take it with a pinch of salt. People will come at you, and you see, when somebody is scared of you, they have to play this reverse psychology. And I know all these things. I'm too intelligent for that. I might not have the degrees, but trust me, last time I checked, the how do you call it? What's he call it? The guy for Microsoft. He didn't have a degree, and he is a multi-billionaire. So I don't dwell, or I don't put myself down on other people, like, you know, put myself down on other people's level. I'm bigger than that. I think I know better. What that does for me, it makes me even push harder, because it makes me prove to them that one day you're going to be embarrassed. And I have some of them coming in the back end, like on my messenger, and apologizing in the back end, you know, and saying they're sorry, they didn't know me, that is why. And, you know, it's pathetic. For me, it's a shame. And this is demoralizing, not me, really. It's demoralizing Gambia as a whole, because people are watching, other countries are listening, they're looking, and we are doing that to our country, not to me. Because listen, regardless, my life still goes on. Where I want to go, I will go to it. If you climb that mountain, you're going to find rocks, pebbles, all kinds of things on the way going up. You might even skid a little bit, but you keep on climbing. You keep on going up, because I have a focus I have a focus to the prize. I have to get to the prize. I have to get to that point. I have to get to the top. So nobody, no one can stop that. I am focused.
Somebody is saying here that you need to go and edit it, and somebody said here also that can she clarify what certified MBA in business management is misleading. So the fact that it's mentioned in your profile and your biography, they said it's misleading. Does it have to be there to say that you are doing it, or you're going to take it out and leave it there?
I am doing it. And because it's a program, I can put whatever I want on my personal page. You know, I've seen people put more stuff, like somebody calling themselves honorable. Since when did you become honorable? You know, but you're being called honorable. You understand what I'm saying? So I can put whatever I want on my personal page. Now, the point is, all these interviews that I've been having, I never at one point in time said I have an MBA or I'm doing this MBA class. I never said that. Never. I actually never mentioned it until today, because I felt that I'm not done with it. I might not even finish it. I might just doing the first part and second part of it. So I don't mention it because I don't even know if I'm going to continue to do it. So that's not relevant in here, in the sense that they're bringing something that I never talked about. And this is something on my personal page. And I'm doing the class. If you come to my office, you'll see one of the certificates hanging on the wall because I finished the first part of it.
Mari, don't you think perhaps you should, because Mari Sock then and Mari Sock now would be different. And what Mari Sock then would want to do in public or anywhere would be different from what Mari Sock from now on will say and do. And don't you think it's now time to distinguish, it's my profile, it's my life, from graduate from that language to accepting that now you are now a public figure, you are now somebody who would potentially be a president?
Listen, my personal page is my personal page. Although if you go to my page right now, there are certain things I'm taking my family and all that out because that's my personal things. Certain things that are not relevant, I take. Things, my work that I'm doing, for example, this MBA that I'm taking the class, I got the first certificate. I can screen it tomorrow and send it to you. So I did that. And they can look at the institute that's online. It's actually online 24/7, so they can see it. So I will not go by what people dictate me to do. They don't tell me what to do and how to do. I choose how I want to live my life. It's not about, oh, now Marisol then now is going to be a president. So because I have to be holy and thou. This is why they're choosing the wrong people. Because you want somebody who's coming here faking, lying to you, and you think, wow, this is presidential. Kimo melni president. Kinde and set now. Lune kangi correct. Lune kangi clean. No, I'm human.
Okay.
I am human.
Well, from now
I am normal. And I'm not going to lie to you. This is why when they go up there, they behave a certain way. You're shocked. Why are you shocked? When you want this person to change to how you want it. The man went from wearing, how do you call it, nyambas, and then you tell him change and wear Gucci. He can't even walk in the shoes. And then you start saying that he is walking like a penguin or whatever. You know, you don't do that. I change as I go. I have common sense to know that there are certain things that I need to remove. There are certain things I need not to do. My kids, I want them, hey, you cannot do this or you cannot go there because, you know, I know all these things, but I'm not going to be dictated by the media or by people how to run me.
Okay. Thank you, Mari. And then I'm not going to keep you any longer now. And thank you for coming. But Mari, the hard truth is, and the fact is that the Gambians want somebody with programs and policies and a very honest leader. And the key word here we are looking for is good governance and somebody who will promote democracy and the rule of law. Mari Sox, do you think you are that person facing the wall now today?
I think from all the summary of all the questions that you asked me, I have said all of that we are here to promote good governance, democracy. That one of the reasons I have chosen the name Social Democrat, to be able to do that. Transparency, accountability, corruption. Like I said, we cannot probably remove 100%. I wish we can, but that's the honest to God truth. And I want to say that these are the things that I stand for. Because it's not only about the people, it's also about me, you know, my how do you call it, mentality, my as a person, what I can do for country and what I represent. Because whatever I do that's not right will not be good for me as a human being, especially if I say I want to come back and give back to the community. So these are the things that I stand for, and these are how do you call it? The things that I want Gambia to change for the better. I want to hold every department and everybody, every private sector accountable in this country, because we need to start doing that. We need to work together as one Gambia and eliminate this together. I can't do it alone.
And the same question is coming again. People want to know, because I think right now the Gambian people, we've been disappointed on many occasions, and people want the reassurance and the confidence that yes, we're not going to have anything like what happened in 2016. And again, I will ask this final question, and again, final two questions. Mari, who inspired you in the Gambia? Which politician do you think is your role model? Who in the Gambia? Don't be jealous.
I'm sorry, but I have not. I look upon other politicians that have done good, like the Excellency Shirley in Liberia.
No,
I
in the
look at
Gambia.
Gami.
No,
No, in the Gambia, I'm sorry, I didn't see any. You know, I'm telling you what I see. I mean, if I'm running, there's a reason why, because I see all these loopholes, and not only that, they're loopholes, they're very serious, because it's like Gambia is sinking. Gambia is not coming up. Gambia is sinking. And these are people that are my role model. They're not in the Gambia, they're outside of Gambia. I've seen what they have done for their country. And I want to replicate that in the Gambia, because Gambia is smaller than those countries, and Gambia can be good again. I'm going to probably use the word of course, I don't want to say his name because I don't really, but I want to make Gambia great again. I want to make Gambians to start talking to each other. I want Gambia to come together as one. I want families to, I mean, these few weeks alone, people are talking to each other. People that have not been talking for many years are back together, laughing on the phone, talking about it. Why? Because Marisol is here. And this is what Gambia is all about. And when we are like this with one another, when we come together and we are chatting with each other, this is the only way we will work together as a team to take Gambia forward. If we are divided by color, tribe, and religion, of course, we cannot come together to do anything. Actually, if I'm doing something, you will sabotage me because you say, she's not, or she's not this, or she's not that. So the fact that we are right now having a conversation, the phones are ringing, we are sitting on the phones chatting with each other for over 1 hour, tells a lot about the real Gambian spirit that I've brought that back. And on that note, I hope by me bringing that back, we can come together, put our hands together, and fix this country called Gambia, because I cannot do it alone.
Madinga ba break bini last question bini bi phone la. Last one bini.
Paos, no problem.
Xam nga léegi fan yi is coronavirus dañ ne mu ngi dooree China te xale jigéen ñi dañu ko China Alibaba te gis nañ ne yow daal ko sa bopp bi li nga xam ne dafa jóge ko Alibaba loo am
lan moo nekk sama bopp bi
gis nañ ne sa bopp bi amul dara lu loo xam ne dafa jóge ko Alibaba xam nga fa maa ñëw de tudd
waaw
ngo léegi loo am pour wax xale jigéen ñi nga xam ne maa si Iba Sarr yi ak Sala Ndiaye yi that's so
I just wonder, listen, we express ourselves, then they express suñ boppa in many ways. Su fekkee ne yow sol li jógee Alibaba moom nga bëgg a sol, hey, and that makes you feel good. It's all about how you feel, really. Su fekkee ne that makes you feel good, why not? Su fekkee ne Dr. Kawar more make you feel good, why not? But I prefer cutting my hair. I think we are beautiful. We don't need all of that to enhance ourselves. But we are women. Women always want to add more of, if it makes you feel good, why not? I have no qualms with that. I just think that we are naturally beautiful, but we always like to enhance.
Because I'm not kuwane. Marisol Muniwaya has some way of getting money from our husbands. Because I'm not young how you cut Facebook. Te Eva the promotional week te amanyo hamne is a source of income. Jigeni boy week nya hala 500 pounds dika jox la. So yaay boy ya market bi right now. Week.
Listen, they did. ñoo wara gis nga soy def business, you have to be innovative. Su fekkee ne léegi week bu gudda jotangu xewangu ewatut nga am yu gata. Startal nga jënda yu gata low cut yi bu ko defee ñu sol low cut comme man way week la. You have, listen, when you're doing business, you have to know how to maneuver. You have to know how to change with the times. So gisee ne léegi ñëpp a ngee dox. Bul indi yu gudda yi, indil yu gata yoo xam ne yu rafet la tamit. Guide nañ ko jënda mu sol ko mu gën a rafet, you know. That means their business sense. That means you know what I'm saying, business sense. Good.
Well, Marie, I wish you all the best of luck. And finally, if you have any advice, or are we gone? If not, I hope not only because you are a woman, but people will judge you based on what you have on the table. People will judge you based on what you have to offer and what you have in plan. Because knowing the problems of Gambia is one thing, solving them is another thing, coming with a solution is another thing, and being there, forgetting to is another thing right now. And in which of these categories that you fall will depend on you. But I hope we do not have a repetition of what we had before. And I definitely wish you all the best from the whole BOD team. And I would love there's a lady here, Eva Sar, would want to have you on an interview. Why for so for me? Hana dinga tek ndoxu sa bor on ndoxu tanga, but you might mistakenly use ndoxu tanga pour selmu.
Yeah,
Because
I want to say, Paos, that as of now, we've scheduled all our interviews. I gave a press conference for a reason because I wanted all the press to come together. Right now, we are all scheduled, and after that schedule that we have, I'm not doing any more interviews because I have to start doing what I want to do, which is to do my own videos. They can use that to add to their reports or whatever. But I think I have to. I've given all the platforms that I can give, and I've been doing it for almost now 2 weeks. And the next week, I'm still continuing it with whoever we have booked, and then I'm gonna stop there and move on. I'm not taking any new platforms anymore because more or less it's the same thing. Like I said, I'm an aspiring presidential candidate, and it's the same questions coming up and up and up. And the reason why we have you is because we already scheduled you for quite a bit. I mean, since last week, yeah. So I cannot now just because I'm on your platform, so I want to talk. No, it doesn't work like that because
no, yeah,
I'm scheduled, and
yeah.
by week after next, I have to start meeting people and all that. So all this is kind of delaying us really to do, and people are getting a bit upset with us because they feel that I don't want to meet them, and they are also very important.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Marie, and I hope that is very clear. And then, like I said, we hope to have you again on our platform. I don't know when, but we will always look forward to have you and see your progress and how you've progressed from today until, well, from that day. And this message to Gambian, I think we as Gambians, it's about whoever the cap fits, put it on. And if we have a woman for the first time wanting to be a president, I think the whole Gambia do not have to discuss like she always mentioned. It's not about damaging her, it's about the Gambia. Because if one Gambia stands to talk, she represents the whole of Gambia. If one person, regardless of what your gender is, let's forget about gender. Let's go for what the person can deliver. Let's go for the capabilities of the individual. Let's justify people based on what they can do. Personalities do change. People do change from one to two, and we always have to be proud of a Gambian, regardless of what you are, where you are from. A Gambian is always a Gambian, and the one foreign policy of the Gambia we need to promote is Gambia's interest first for Gambia and by Gambians. And Marie, I will say a very big thank you to you and for coming. And hopefully we will have you again in this platform. And I wish to say good night. And also, thank you for all those who are listening. Jërë ngeen jëf yéen ñi fi nekkoon tey di ñu seetaan ñu la woon VOD Voice Out Digital ñu nekkoon si behind the scene di ma support Monica Sala Njie and Eva. They were doing the technical things that you are seeing all on the screen. And I'm saying thank you for your time. I know it's not easy in the Gambia having your internet been wasted. So thank you. We appreciate you and we love you. And you can always watch this program on our YouTube channel and also on the Facebook channel and other subsequent programs. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.